Well, all right. How you doing, Mr. DJ? Doing the 70s tonight. Going back to Billboard's Hot 100, late 1975. Lots of Lost 45s I want to cover. And, excuse me, my goodness, I got a treat for you. You're not going to believe this. Debuting at number 87 on Billboard's Hot 100, Free Ride by Tavares. Tavares' version of Free Ride was not hardly played any at all on the radio stations, and I think I've already done this before, but I guess I'll do it again. Let me just go ahead and give you some of the top 10 that week. Outsourcing Billboard's Hot 100, December 12th, or December 6th, rather, 1975. And got Low Rider at number 7, Elton John's Island Girl at number 6, The Way I Want to Touch You, which was written by Tony Tennille, at number 5, Let's Do It Again by the Staple Singers at number 4, Sky High by Jigsaw at number 3, That's the Way I Like It, some of that Florida Sunshine, KC and the Sunshine Band, Disco, number 2, Fly Robin Fly by Silver Convention at number 1, but let's go all the way down to that song at number 87. My goodness, Free Ride by Tavares. Can you believe that? Well, here's the deal about this record. Tavares, they go back. They formed back in the sock hop years, back in 1959. They were known as Chubby and the Turnpikes. And they stayed Chubby and the Turnpikes for a long time, for about 14 years. The youngest member was 9 years old. They're brothers. The youngest member was 9 years old. The oldest one was 18 years old, about 18 years old. They signed a deal with Capitol Records in 1967. They had a couple of local hits, but nothing really happened for Chubby and the Turnpikes in the late 60s. It wasn't until 1973 that things started to click for Chubby and the Turnpikes. They changed their name to Tavares, had their first hit with Check It Out, 1973. And you might remember, a lot of people don't remember this, but they had the hit with She's Gone by Hall & Oates before Hall & Oates had a hit with their own record. She's Gone, the version by Tavares, went to number 1 R&B in 1974. Now, if I remember correctly, Hall & Oates, they released their version of She's Gone in 1974, but it wasn't a very big hit the first time around. Re-released in 1976, the thing just flew right off the chart. She's Gone by Hall & Oates. 1975 was a banner year for Tavares. They released an album that had about 3 hit records. One of my favorite records. I'm not into slow records, but man, this was really a touching record. Remember What I Told You to Forget. Remember that? Guys on the telephone trying to call his girlfriend. I mean, it's one of those touchy-feely records. Went to number 25 on Billboard's Hot 100 in the summer of 1975. It Only Takes a Minute, Girl, to Fall in Love, which was later covered by Take That, English boy band Take That. British hit 1992 for that boy band, but Tavares did it 1975, and now we got Free Ride. Gosh dog it. God dog, I never heard of that version of the record. It was not played on Top 40 radio. The thing about the 70s, and this is the real sad thing about the 70s, top 40 radio stations that had playlists of 50, 60 records, or even 40 records in the 60s, they chopped it down to about 30 by 1975. There were a few exceptions like WCFL in Chicago, they had 40, but WLS in Chicago, they had a playlist of only about 15 or 20 records by 1975. And so a lot of great records, a lot of really good records just did not flow into the playlist. This was one of them. You might remember too, of course, 1976, Tavares did Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel. That was a great disco record. And then Who Done It in 1977. This record, Free Ride, which done by the Edgar Winter Group, it was written by Dan Hartman. Dan Hartman, the guy who did Instant Replay in 78 and his biggest hit, I Could Dream About You in 1984, member of the Edgar Winter Group, and the original version of Free Ride was produced by Rick Derringer. Free Ride by Tavares at number 87. Their version got as high as number 52. That's it. On Billboard's Hot 100 for 6 weeks. But boy, what a jam. And they stay true. This is very close to the original. Tavares with Free Ride on Billboard's Hot 100, December 6, 1975.